act natural.
Okay.
She's unhinged. Casual.
No.
This is a conversation that I've been looking forward to having just because this is something that I like talking about with anyone.
Well, my name is Sierra.
Hi, my name is Dominique, and we are sisters.
Surprise.
I guess you probably would have never guessed, but nonetheless, we're here today to talk about our identities, our racial identity. We lived together our entire lives up until, I went to college and you moved to Texas. Mm-hmm. So I'm 22 now.
I'm 23.
And so we've spent some years apart, and these are critical years when it comes to realizing your identity and where you fall in the world and your racial habitus. That's a fun word for you. Look that up. Okay, so our dad's black, our mom's white. Our first question I would like to ask you, Sierra, how do you identify?
Me, personally, I identify as just black and white. Now,
all right.
How do you identify?
I identify in two parts. I identify as mixed and I identify as black. Two identities, but that's just to go along with all the other 20. I don't identify as white just because I feel like the racial constructs of whiteness and just the requirements of being white, I will never meet. The black community, we're pretty diverse. And that's not me trying to deny my whiteness by any means. That comes into play with being mixed. I feel like the way that I walk through the world and the way is always going to be I'm a woman of color. If there's check multiple boxes, then I'm checking, everything that applies to me up until...
Except for shoot. When we was going in school, Mom was always like, mark that African American box. So
Yeah, did you ever feel guilty?
Use that privilege.
Do you ever... Oh, that privilege. I don't know if we can call affirmative action privilege.
I'm saying
Do you ever have people misidentify you?
All the time. My boss, he hired me on because he thought I know how to speak Spanish. And I never once said that I was bilingual or that I was Hispanic. Oh, you don't speak Spanish? I'm like, I'm not Hispanic.
Hey, so you don't have to be Hispanic to speak Spanish, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah. And they're just assuming because they think you're Hispanic anyways. I've had similar experiences of people misidentifying me, especially when I used to be a server at Bubba's, waiting the tables. I'd come back to see if anyone needs a refill, and they're like, so, what are you?
What are you? I'm an army brat. I'm just too black for the white kids or too white for the black kids, so
How do you think it affects your dating pool?
Well, I'm married now, guys. I'm off the market. When I was in the dating pool, I never found myself attracted by white men. White men never would approach me.
But you dated that one guy in high school. What was his name?
Yeah, white. He was mixed though.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. His dad was mixed.
Oh.
And his mom was white, so.
Oh, okay.
It didn't really count. Ever. Just saying. No shade. I never got no love until I moved to Fayetteville, okay?
I used to only date mixed guys because I dated this one Puerto Rican guy and I went to his house for dinner once and his mom was like, Blanca. And I am in Spanish 1 and I know my colors. That was not nice. We're all mixed here. I always figured that if I dated someone who was just strictly from one ethnicity, that I would be too much for them. I'd be too white for the black guys, or I'd be too black for the white guys, or their families. Really, is what it came down to. Now that I'm older, I don't really care too much about that because I'm also not trying to meet anybody's mom. I've had diverse dating experiences. Actually, when it comes to dating anyone, I'm on edge about whether or not they're fetishizing my exoticness, right?
I like hair. A long hair, thick red bone.
That was all in my face. Hey, we're gonna cut that. Do you feel like you and your identity is proportionately represented in the media?
I mean, there are celebrities that are mixed, you know, like Zendaya, Jordan Woods. Hey.
This is a red couch talk. Should have invited her. Really dropped the ball on that one.
But I did see that like they have some shows coming out where like the leads are mixed.
I feel like, yeah, if not overrepresented. Really, I want to see more diversity of skin tones. And that comes down to like the whole light skin privilege thing. And I know this from firsthand experience, right? So I was published in school media. I was actually on the napkin dispensers at my university. I mean, if anyone wants my autograph. And I had friends make comments about, oh yeah, they choose another racially ambiguous girl.
Damn, you got some haters.
I know. I did stick up for myself. However, I do understand that light-skinned women get a lot more play than dark-skinned women. Light-skinned woman's always the love interest. If it's a black man, it's a light-skinned woman. And so I feel like we have a lot of privilege when it comes to representation in the media. Yeah. Do you feel like you have light-skin privilege?
Yeah, no, for real, yeah.
So light-skin privilege is kind of this advantage that you get from having fairer toned skin.
I mean, yeah.
It comes in the representation in the media, right? Like, we have these role models that we can sit and look to and be like, oh my God, look, Zendaya is doing XYZ, I could do that too, right? And that's important because that largely contributes to what people believe that they can do. You know, now that we've had a black president, imagine how many kids are out there thinking like, I could be president one day, for real, for real. The door has been opened. Band-Aids. Have you ever seen a dark brown Band-Aid before?
And then like with foundation, yeah.
You wouldn't even think about the Band-Aid thing because it's like, oh, that's just a Band-Aid color. No, that's meant to be skin toned. But it goes deeper than just Band-Aids, right? It's the way that we're told we're supposed to feel about ourselves. Also the way that people treat you differently, right? Do you say the N-word?
I do. Here and there.
Okay, how do you feel about other people saying the N-word around you?
I'm really not bothered by it if they're not saying it in like a derogatory term. If you're white and you're not like from the hood or have any type of cultural awareness, you shouldn't be saying it.
Period. I do say the N-word sometimes. It's very conditional. I don't feel like people who are out of the group should be saying it. I think it's an in-group thing. It's not your word to take back, right? Sometimes you gotta look inward and ask yourself, can I say the N-word? I don't use it around people that are older. I have a lot of rules here. We'll probably fast forward.
No, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Out of respect, you know. Yeah. Have you ever been called the N-word before?
I was called it when we lived in Michigan. I can't think of a more recent time than that, honestly, but it was elementary school. We lived in Michigan. Our mom was deployed, you know, in the military.
I've never seen two fingers.
Cornrowed my hair back so that nobody had to deal with it for the next few weeks. And the first day I go to school with that, some little white boy called me the N-word.
Really?
I do remember a mom having that talk with us the one time. If anyone ever calls you the N-word, you tell an adult.
Until we moved to Fayetteville, I really didn't know anything.
Maybe it was 4th grade, Mr. Byron's class. He asked us what was an African American. And well, it's like me. It's part African and part American. And he said, close.
On a day-to-day basis, I do feel like I'm more of like a target.
It's just so hard being pretty. Oh my God, how do you do it? By the way, your eyelashes are popping. I was like, are those real? They are real.
Well, you know.
Okay, don't get a big
head. You can zoom in.
Men go out and they think that it's okay to holler at you and talk to you in any kind of way.
I said, stop. Don't touch me.
Yeah, no, that sucks. I hate that. Because I think that women of color are sexualized, period. You know, we have the Jezebel stereotype. Like, I am always stereotyped as being stuck up. I didn't make a lot of friends in high school because they all thought I was like the stuck up light-skinned girl when really I was just shy. One time I had, there was a set of roommates that I was living with. After Donald Trump was elected, they're sitting there going through their mind of places where they could move. Oh, well, maybe we should move to Australia. Well, no, they have sexism problems there too. We should move to the UK. Oh, well, blah, 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 Brexit, blah, blah. Well, maybe we should move to Japan. Oh, well, they don't like black people there. But it's okay, because you're one of the pretty ones.
The audacity!
So we had to talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
We had to talk about that one. I don't think I'm pretty despite being black. I think I'm pretty because I'm black, right? Like, I get my curly hair from my dad. I mean, I get my freckles from my mom.
It's a lot of white women and other women just trying to go out and get these fillers done, these BBLs, you know, things like that.
Blackfishing.
I've been seeing.
I think that the combination of these things, like, I don't think you can separate it and say, despite the fact that I'm black. No, because.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, mom got a big butt, so I feel like that's where I got.
I think you got the butt from mom. Yeah. I'm still waiting on mine to come in. Just like all my Christmas presents from dad. It's in the mail. It's on the way. Girl, I grew up thinking that the postal system was so unreliable. I was scared to mail anything. I was like, well, it's just going to get lost. I mean.
Stop. Cut. Cut.
Okay, well, this has been real. This has been fun. This has been real fun. My name is Dominique.
I'm Sierra. And
thank you for coming to our TED Talk. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
World peace.
And we're out.
Oh my gosh.
This is one hell of a debut, ain't it? I'm sweating like crazy. Okay.
Antiperspirants cause cancer.